Recently, the House of Commons Standing Committee on Fisheries and Oceans met to discuss the state of Pacific salmon. Now, if you have 2 hours of your life that you want to spend getting angry, then I encourage you to go watch the video. We put together a few highlights, or maybe lowlights, I guess you'd call them, and I think it helps explain some of the frustrations that we have when dealing with the department, and it certainly makes you wonder about who we have making decisions to manage our fisheries.
We have almost 50 different types of salmon that are on the possible species at risk listing.
50. Chinook, coho, pink, chum, sockeye. Well, why try and figure out the other 45? Check out the next clip.
So we have over 9,000 individual stocks in BC and the Yukon. We don't have stock assessment information for all of them.
Now this one can be a bit confusing. Is it 9,000 stocks? Is it 9,000 runs? I just think we need to be very careful when we're using terminology and that we're consistent, especially when we're educating other people, especially people in the standing committee. I mean, you just have to be careful. You never know. Before you know it, someone might think we have 9,000 types of salmon.
Stocks are in serious decline.
I think we should be careful. Not all stocks are in, there's certain ones, I'll agree, and everybody at this table would agree that certain stocks are in decline. Certain stocks are also very healthy and very vibrant. Certain stocks are actually just created for the purpose of putting fish into the ocean to be caught through hatchery programs and so on.
This is one that drives me batty. I had the same problem with Wilkinson. Headlines always want to be the negative. Salmon are in trouble in BC, and that's just not the case. There are so many success stories where salmon are doing better in BC than they have in 30 years, the Couch and the Campbell. But thanks to Mr. Calkins for once again explaining to the minister the state of Pacific salmon in general.
I have to read you recommendation 30 of the Cohen Commission. It says the Department of Fisheries and Oceans should designate an individual to coordinate scientific, educational, and management efforts in relation to selective fishing practices. Minister, has this been done?
I'm going to have to turn to my department because I will admit that I am not aware of that.
And in turn, I'll turn to our Regional Director General for Pacific, Rebecca Reed.
What is the state of our salmon stock assessments? Have we got up-to-date assessments on all of our runs in BC?
And I'm going to turn to my department on that one.
And Rebecca, perhaps you can take that one on.
Why are you shutting down the SSHI program after having only completed 2 of the 4 phases of the investigation?
I am actually going to turn to my deputy minister for this one, please.
And I think, Rebecca, that's in your world as well.
This one is not surprising. And I wouldn't throw the minister under the bus on this one because, quite frankly, she can't be on top of every single move. And that's why she has to have good staff in all of her regions. The problem here is the minister is getting poor advice from the Pacific region. I mean, it's really clear to us in the last couple of years that the head people in the Pacific region are not supportive of the public fishery. And frankly, they're feeding the minister with information that is aiding her to make the wrong decisions. It's putting her in a position that she doesn't want to be in. But that's up to her. That's a change she has to make so that she can make decisions confidently with proper information provided to her.
Minister, we need answers now.
I have met with the Sport Fishing Advisory Board.
Mr. Jordan, I think there's some confusion here. You have met with the SFI, and we appreciate every opportunity we get to meet with you, but you have not met with the SFAB yet. The SFAB is one of Canada's oldest advisory boards, made up of volunteers, and has now been advising the department for over 60 years. I do know that they want to meet with you, though.
We have opened up Mark Select Fisheries in a small scale in some areas as a test, as a pilot program. And we are planning to proceed with a pilot basis in 2021.
Minister, when are you going to implement a selective fishery in BC?
Thank you, Mr. Zimmer. As I have said, we have put a pilot program in place with regards to a marked selective fishery.
This one has me really confused. Neither the SFI or the SFAB have been made aware of any official pilot program for mark selected fisheries. There's just so many questions. I mean, where's it happening? When did it start? When's it ending? How's the data being collected? Why don't the people who are participating in this even know about it?
And provide some economic certainty to those that rely on Chinook salmon fisheries for a livelihood. Can you give us any clarity on what's going to happen sooner rather than later?
That decision will be coming soon, Mr. Calkins.
In this clip, Mr. Calkins is asking the same question I've asked the minister previously and the ministers before her. It relates around certainty and planning, and it's something that everyone needs in their life. You can't plan a business, you can't plan a family vacation, you need certainty. And the minister's answer is that decision is coming soon. Minister Jordan, it's June. This is our season right now, and you still haven't let us know what we're doing. We're already thinking about 2022, and you haven't even got 2021 under your belt yet. Come on.
So I would say that I am not, as I have said, and as I have said to you before, I'm not adverse to a mark select fishery. As I have said many times, I am not adverse to a mark select fishery. As I've said many times, Mr. Hardy, the mark select fishery is not something I am opposed to. I think it's actually, a good idea. We just need to make sure that I have the right science and data that is backed up, that makes sure there is not a challenge within areas of concern. I will continue to say that.
In these clips, the minister clearly knows that she's not adverse or opposed to a mark selected fishery. So why don't we have it? Mr. Zimmer, I think sums us up very, very well.
I guess with all the data that's been presented to you and by the experts that you call on to give you advice, they've even offered that this can be done now. This can be established right now. And yet we hear stalling after stalling after stalling examples from the department about establishing a selective fishery. Even the ability to have machines that mark fish have been turned down, we've understood. So, Minister, it's been given many opportunities for you to get to an easy yes answer on this. A lot of evidence, a lot of data, a lot of BC fishing families, frankly, relying upon a good decision based on data, based on science that you yourself have solicited, and you're just simply not listening to it because you want to still prevent that from happening for some reason.
So there you have it. Some non-answers, more delays, same questions we've had for over 2 years, still getting no answer to it. The bottom line is we're not sure how our fisheries are being managed. We know they're not being managed by science and data. Are they being managed by political pressure? Is it a threat of going to court? Minister, just let us know what it is. Tell us the truth so that we can help. We've had fisheries management measures in place for 20 years with the same results. How much longer are you going to continue doing the same thing, expecting a different result? It's simply not going to happen. So just come clean, be honest with us, and let us help find a solution to this. We've got a request in to meet with you. I look forward to the opportunity to have these discussions.